without further ado, we're just going to get super practical. All right, roll up your sleeves. This is the nitty gritty stuff. So put on your thinking cap. When you have questions, interrupt me. Okay, promise. If you don't know what I'm saying, put your hand up and we'll hash it out. So we're going to talk about 3 kinds of Hebrew couplets. So we should already be able to deduce one thing. Do you think this is going to be Old Testament or New Testament?
It's definitely Old Testament.
Old Testament, because the Old Testament is written in Hebrew. So if it's Hebrew, that's going to be Old Testament. If it's Greek, that's going to be New Testament, with the exclusion of a couple of chapters and a few other languages. But yeah, so this is largely going to be Hebrew couplets. These are 2-line poetic units where the second line mirrors or contrasts or completes the first. And I'm going to show you examples of all of these. But these Hebrew couplets, these 2-line Hebrew structures, are often found in the Psalms and the Proverbs and the Prophets. Basically, it's in poetry, right? So anytime you're reading Hebrew poetry, this is going to be the most common structure in Old Testament poetry. Okay, this is the most common structure. So if you're reading in the Old Testament and it gets poetic, look for couplets. If you cover your eyes and throw a dart, you'll probably hit a couplet if it's in poetry. Now, real quick, this is a fun little tip. Usually in your English Bible, if it's poetry in the Old Testament, it's actually indented. You guys know what I mean there? Like whenever you read your English translation and all of a sudden it's indented, that's the authors, the translators trying to do us a favor and saying, hey, in the original language, this is supposed to be poetry. So that's when you need to start looking for couplets. Okay. Now, you guys pay attention because you're about to have a quiz, okay? There's 3 of these suckers. All right. Number 1, synonymous parallelism. All right. Synonymous parallelism. This repeats the exact same idea, but just with different words. Okay, so like Aaron looks awesome with an eye patch. Aaron looks really cool with an eye patch, right? So say I just said the same thing, just with different words, right? So that would be synonymous parallelism. So for example, Psalm 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God. And just in case you didn't quite know what I meant by that, the sky above proclaims his handiwork, right? So these are basically saying the same thing, just with different poetic nuances, right? So obviously when we're teaching this, we want to show how these are saying the same thing, right? So we want to show the similarity here. Next, we have the antithetic parallelism. Now, just for the record, you do not need to memorize all these fancy titles. Now, if you want to be super varsity, it's helpful. I'm going to be honest. Like, it is helpful when you can put a title on it. But I'm much more concerned about you being able to recognize what it does than remember that it's called antithetic parallelism. Like, if you just want to say, this is the one where it's different, that's fine too. But antithetic parallelism, this is where it contrasts to opposing ideas. So the wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. Right? So man, if you're teaching this, you really want to play up the contrast. Look at the different lifestyles. Look at the different concerns. Look at, you really want to show how different these are, how the wicked are and how the righteous are, right? So this is antithetic parallelism. Next, synthetic parallelism. Synthetic parallelism. This is when the second line builds or completes the first one. So the word is a lamp to my feet and it's a light to my path, right? Synthetic parallelism. So let's have a little quiz. I think you guys are going to be able to do this. I'm feeling optimistic. So let's just take a guess. I would say no wrong answers, but that's a lie. There are definitely wrong answers. But if you get the wrong answer, then it is a learning opportunity. So that's good. So don't be prideful and scared to get it wrong. That's how we learn. So a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit. All right, what do you guys think? Is that synonymous, antithetic, or synthetic? A gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness in it breaks the spirit.
Antithetic.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for antithetic there, right? Because it's showing this contrast here. So excellent job. All right, next. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
I'm gonna go with C on this one.
That's what I was leaning towards.
Yes. And that here's a little tip from when you are right. Whenever you want to ask, is this synthetic or synonymous? You can ask, could I put the word therefore in the middle? If you can plug in the word therefore, the Lord is my shepherd, therefore, like is it explaining the causality? That's probably synthetic. So therefore, I shall not want. Excellent job, ladies. Well done. Okay, the law of the Lord is perfect, reviving the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. What do you got?
Synonymous.
Yeah, synonymous. Excellent job. So these are the most common structures. And what kind of genre? Tell me again.
Old Testament poetry.
Yes, Old Testament poetry. Well done. Hey, did you guys know that we have a free Bible study at www.womenteachtheword.com? You don't even have to type in your email, for now, at least. So, better go grab it. Fancy would appreciate it.